Dun, dun, dun. All right, YouTube. Here we go. We're going live. Should have some people joining in momentarily. This is just from my phone. It's not going to be any sort of crazy production going on here. But I got an iPhone, so it'll be halfway decent. All right, we got at least one person in. That's good. That we know it's working. Are you bored? I would say somewhat. Luckily enough, I can still kind of do some work here, so that's good. What's up, Carson? Real talk, what's up? What was my first vehicle? Great question. My first vehicle was a 2000 Ford Excursion. It had a 6.8 liter V10. What's the cheapest, best quality wheel? Wow, you guys are just jumping in with the questions today. It's like you knew this was coming, like it was gonna happen. That's really a tough question to answer because there are so many wheels that are affordable, and also, a lot of wheels are honestly made in very much similar factories. So a lot of people are using the same equipment. I guess it's hard to say what's the best cheap one. We have a whole bunch of wheels on sale though right now. CustomOffices.com/today's deals. If you haven't seen that page, you can get to it right from the homepage of the website. Luna, shh, my dog's growling out the window. But yeah, we got a whole bunch that are on sale there, so you can actually get really nice quality wheels for a little bit less right now. So that's pretty sweet. Would you rather have one $10,000 vehicle or 10 $1,000 vehicles? Ooh, that's a good question. I always say that some of my favorite cars that I've owned have been like the beater cars because you just don't care about them and you can run into stuff and it's a good time. But, if I had 10 friends, I really only have maybe like 2 friends. If I had 10 friends and we all had $1,000 cars, that would be a grand old time. We could just smash into each other. I did have one buddy in college that we both had beater cars and we would literally crash into each other. It was a good time. Luna, come. Shh, you gotta be quiet. How tall am I? 5'6", I think. What do you think about converting trucks to electric? That would be a really daunting task to do that. I think you might be better off just going with an electric truck that's, like comes from factory electric. Why am I not at work? I am at work. I mean, kind of. I'm at home, but I'm at work. So, Wisconsin is under a Safer at Home Act, I believe is what the governor called it. So, everybody who can work from home should work from home. That's what we're doing. Why is Archon never in stock? Archon has a whole bunch of wheels in stock. I believe, actually, I know some more information because we work with them very closely because they are us. But they've got like over 90% of wheels in stock right now. So that's good. I don't know when the last time you checked was it, but they just got a whole bunch more wheels in. So check out the website. My worst truck or car? I think my worst car would probably be, I owned an RX-8, and the car was great. Honestly, it was a great car. Had it for only 10 months, drove it for only 4 or 6, maybe vice versa. I didn't know anything about rotaries when I bought it, and that was why it wasn't a great car for me. My worst truck, I guess I would probably pick the Ranger that I had, because it was just like the cheapest vehicle I had, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun. So, nope, didn't blow the apex seals. Those are still intact, because I had it in storage for more than I owned it. Why so much hate on Rough Country? That's another really good question. I don't know why there's so much hate on Rough Country because honestly, they make some pretty good stuff. I don't know what's outside, but my dog keeps growling. Rough Country makes great stuff. I went and toured their facility. I actually got to see a whole bunch of how they actually make things, and it's in Tennessee, which I think a lot of people don't know that Rough Country is made in the. Good luck with Rough Country, and I guess that's really the story that we hear from most people. A lot of the guys at the shops have run Rough Country on their trucks, and we've never really had any issues there. So, how long is my order going to take? That would really depend on what you ordered. I can help you out a little bit more if I know what it is. Otherwise, customoffsets.com/track. Do you have deals on wheels and lift kits? We do have deals on wheels and lift kits, actually. Suspension rarely goes on sale, but it is on sale now. So you can go to customoffsets.com/today's deals, and then you can just kind of scroll through everything: wheels, tires, suspension, gear, apparel, all of that kind of stuff. What's your opinion on balancing beads? If you're going with something that's like 38 or larger, balancing beads are a good option for you. Otherwise, the stick-on weights work really good for anything less than that. Thoughts on Lincoln Mark LT with Archon Lincolns? That would be so sick. Not only because you got Lincoln and Lincoln, but I think the Lincoln Mark LT was a very underrated truck. Granted, it was just an F-150 that was dressed up a little bit, but they're pretty cool. I kind of like them. Show us the dog. Hi. This is Luna. You may have seen her in some videos before. She usually pops in somehow at some point. She's a great dog. Will Archon ever do forged? Archon's whole thing is that they are affordable cast wheels that are true directional. So I don't think that they would go forged, to be honest with you, just because, like I said, that's kind of their thing. They make true directional wheels that are cast, so they keep the price way down, but you get wheels that are very similar to forged. Skylar, remember me. I meet a lot of people. I don't particularly remember you just based off your name. Maybe if you explain a little bit more, maybe I would. Do you think the truck community will still be here in 10 years? Yeah, absolutely. So part of that question was because they're going electric. I think regardless of what happens to the truck community, there will always be people that are modifying trucks, and we're always going to be there to offer the wheels, the tires, and the suspension that fits those. So we've already modified some Teslas and stuff like that, and as more and more electric truck manufacturers come out, I think you're going to keep seeing that. Like F-150 is going to be electric. Well, not only electric, but they're going to offer an electric one soon. So, yeah, I think you can still do it. What else do we got here? Will you make my truck payment for me? Only if you make my car payment, and they're similar prices. We can probably make that work. Are you going to offer Archon wheels in solid black instead of black and milled? If there's enough demand for it, that's a possibility. I know we've kind of started to look at maybe offering some full satin colors in select models. My daily, which you guys have seen pop up in a couple of videos, is a diesel BMW 3 Series because it gets like 40 some miles per gallon, which is pretty decent for my commute to work. But right now, since gas is so cheap, I guess that's one pro that came out of this whole thing. Gas is like $1.49 by us, so I've been driving my truck everywhere. My Sierra 2500 HD. Oh man, comments are just like flooding in. I can only keep up with so many. It's so many of them. Let me get back to the bottom here. Thoughts on a 95 Geo Prism? That was actually one of the cars that I won, and we got to drive around his backyard. So we would like take a Geo Prism off road. Gas in Canada is 64 cents. Wow, that's cheap. If that's converted to American dollars, I don't know if you converted that for me or not. I'm not smart enough to do it on the fly. Sorry. 2020 Ram 1500 Airride BDS Lift 37s. I don't know if they've released that kit officially yet. That's going to be a tricky one. Are Vision rockers any good? That's a great question, Jeremy. Vision has been making wheels for quite a while, and they actually are very, very strong in the off-road motorsports community. So the wheels that the racers are using, they offer true beadlocks and simulated beadlocks, but those are the same wheels made in the same factories that you can get your regular show wheels for too. So like Vision rockers, actually one of my personal favorite wheels, just the style of it. I love how the way the spokes kind of cross over one another. Definitely a good wheel for you, yeah. How do I feel about Zone? Zone is another one of those lift kits that's like a great value for the money. You're getting, and not great value in the sense of, Walmart great value. It really is a great value. For the price you pay, you get a really good quality lift made from the same guys that are doing BDS. BDS and Zone are sister companies. You don't get the exact same warranty as BDS, which is how they're able to keep it a little bit cheaper, and some of the options aren't standard. So like some of the skid plates and whatnot that you might want on the Zone kit aren't standard, but you can upgrade to them if you want, whether that be when you first build the truck or later down the road if you decide, yeah, you know what, I want those skid plates, you can add those. So keeps the cost down, and yeah, you still get a really good quality lift kit. Are power steps on sale right now? let's look. I have the website in front of me. I might as well look for you. CustomOffice.com. Click on today's deals, which is right at the top. Let's scroll through here. So we got a whole bunch of stuff on right now, and more coming. So the big ones are like Cali Off-Road wheels, Dirty Life wheels, RVP Forge wheels, Venom Rex wheels. I know Anthem and Archon are about to launch 2 sales. We got Superlift, lift kits at 10% off. So there's a lot of stuff out there right now. But not the Power Steps. It's very, very rare. I've never seen those go on sale other than Black Friday. How do you know if a lift kit eliminates rake? The 8-inch lift on my Silverado still rakes. So that's gonna have to do with the rear block size, and if you're keeping a stock block in there. So if you get an 8-inch lift, really it's talking about the front. So from factory, there's about a 2-inch rake on a Silverado. So you're gonna want to put a 6-inch block in the rear rather than an 8-inch block because it'll get too tall. What do I think about Superlift? I love Superlift. For one, Mike is super fun. I always get to hang out with Mike when we go to Louisiana or when he comes up here. Superlift is a great company. Again, made in the States, which is nice. So they're making a lot of their stuff down in Louisiana, like I said. Obviously, like everybody else, some parts are sourced from out of the country, but for the most part, a lot of it's done right here in the States. And they offer Kings as their coilover and shock upgrade kits. So if you want something with King coilovers, you can package that with a Superlift kit, and you get it for a way better deal than if you just wanted to buy it. Need help finding a lift kit for 97 F-150 two-wheel drive. Cannot find one. Oh, I know your struggle. So Jared had, I don't know if his was a 97, but it was like the same body style. And he had a two-wheel drive, and it was impossible to find a lift kit. All he could do was find a leveling kit. I think it was like a 3.5-inch, and he pretty much just cranked it all the way up to go as high as possible. And that's really, unfortunately, all that's out there for those trucks. Interesting. I didn't know this. David says on the new body style trucks, you can't change the gears because the ring gears are welded to the carrier. You can't run big wheels without power loss. What are my thoughts on that? I'm not aware of that, if it's true or false, or who told you, or if you got the information from doing it yourself, but I haven't heard anybody actually complain about that until just now. If it's true, I mean, you bring up a good point. Anytime you add larger wheels and tires, you're going to slow your vehicle down a little bit. But for the most part, if you're running like 35s or smaller, you're just fine. We don't recommend gearing until you go over a 37. Even in most cases, you can run a 37s on stock gearing. I guess it's just important that if you're shopping for a used truck or ordering a new truck, that you make sure that you order something with the correct gears right off the bat if you know you're going to be running 40s or something like that. Like our Super Duty, the Archon K350, it's stock gears and it's on 40s. What setup do I run? I have Anthems and 33s. 17x9 Anthem Intimidators and 33 by 12.5, Venom Power tires. I have BMF wheels that came on my truck. The mill is starting to get discoloration. I can't get it to come off. If it's from like brake dust or something like that, there's actually a product out there from Killer Wax that will be good for you. It's called Bloody Mate, M8, like the number. Check that out. That'll take some of that off. I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee with 20-inch wheels. What are the best all-around factory-sized tires that you would recommend? If you're leaving factory height, factory wheels, gonna assume we're not doing anything too crazy. Honestly, I would check out the Toyo Open Country AT3, which is a brand new tire that just came out a couple weeks ago. Replaces, or it actually improves upon the AT2. It doesn't replace it because they're still making the AT2. But the AT3 has a lot of siping, a really nice aggressive looking sidewall, but still a pretty functional tread pattern that's not going to be too loud or anything like that. So I would check those out. We got those on the website. Can I run coilovers with a standard 4.5-inch zone lift kit on the Sierra 1500? There are companies out there that make coilovers for 4-inch lifts, so yes, you could do that. Fox is going to be an option for you. You can get custom stuff from them. They sell like, just the pieces because you're going to need to kind of make a combo of your lift kit and coilovers. Also depends on what vehicle you have. I guess that would be important to know. Can you guys do a two-wheel drive C10 lift? If we get somebody who wants to do one and they bring it to the shop, we definitely can do something like that. It's not super common up here. We did just help out the guys at Brandon Title Co. They've got, what's your job at Custom Offsets? This is my job at Custom Offsets. But the guys at Brandon Title Co. have a C10, and they just put, I think, 22 by 12s on it. They're pretty sweet. You can check those out on their channel if you haven't seen it already. It's like a old school patina truck with chrome Archon Triumphs, and it looks pretty sweet. Thoughts on the Ford Shelby Raptor? I love the Raptor in general. The Shelby one, I'm assuming, is probably even better. Thoughts on North Carolina squatted trucks? I did a whole video on squatted trucks. If you have seen it or haven't seen it, I think it's all personal preference. If that's something that you want to do to your truck, you're more than welcome to. I probably wouldn't do it with mine just because I use my truck to tow a lot, so I don't want to have it even more squatted. That would just be a little excessive, but if you want to do it for style points, that's great. You're more than welcome to. Jeremy says, thanks for the Aturo Trailblade info. I picked some up and love them. You are very welcome, sir. Why don't they make two-wheel drive McGoy's lift kits? It depends what vehicle you're shopping for, because they do make some, as far as I'm aware. Where can I find whiteout taillights like CO2 and mirrors? So the mirrors are factory High Country mirrors. They didn't come on that truck, but they're just from Chevy High Country mirrors that we painted white. You just have to find your local painter to paint those white. And then the taillights we had custom made. I believe they're Recon taillights, and then we sent them out again to get painted. And I think we added some more LED stuff in there. I don't remember. It's been a little while since we did those. But gold standard lighting always hooks it up with the headlight and taillight builds. What's the best first truck, affordable and good to customize, for towing a slammed Miata? Well, Miatas are pretty light. Depends on what kind of trailer you're using, but if we're just assuming it's an open steel car hauler, you'd be fine with a half-ton pickup. So, like, if you can get an 03 to 06 Chevy Silverado 1500, that's going to be more than what you need. It's going to be new enough that it's not going to be broken all the time, but old enough that it's a pretty affordable truck. So I would check that out. 03 to 06 Chevy Silverado 1500. Somebody wants me to give a shout out to Gabe. I don't know who Gabe is, but there's your shout out. Why won't you tell me if y'all's got spinners? We can get pretty much everything, but I don't think we have any spinners on the website. How would you start a project car or truck? That's actually a video that I'm going to be filming here pretty soon, is like how we would build a truck as far as what steps to take first. I think the important thing is to figure out suspension primarily, first off, because once you decide you want 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, then you know, all right, now how wide can we go with the wheels, or how big can we go with the tires? Damn, yo, I need those spinners so I can flex on the homies. Yeah, I agree. Do you like the new Chevy HD design? Yeah, it's growing on me a little bit. 15... Oh boy, I gotta read this like 3 times to make sure I got it right here. Well, I lost it. It was something like 15 by 8s and 33, 13 and a halves. Is that too wide? It's not. You can put 12 and a half wides or 13 and a half wides on an 8-inch wide wheel. 13 and a half is kind of getting pretty wide. I'd maybe stick to 12 and a half, but you definitely can. How wide do you recommend with a 3.5-inch lift? That depends on your truck, but the best way to figure out what you're gonna want to do. Oh gosh, I lost the website. Go to the gallery, customoffsets.com/gallery. And then just pop in there, enter in your year, make, model, put the suspension at 3.5, leave everything else blank, and it'll show you what everybody else has done on there. Because there's guys that are running 9 wides on a 3.5-inch level, and there's guys that are running 14 wides and just dealing with a lot of rubbing. So, all depends. Cooper STT Pro MT or Toyo MT? That's a good question. I'm gonna go with Toyo just simply because I have more experience with Toyo, and I can say without a doubt that it's a great tire because we've used it on a ton of different builds before. Nothing against the Coopers, I just haven't personally driven on them, so I'm not able to make that recommendation. What would be a good starter truck? That was the same question, same guy that asked before. 2003 to 2006 Chevy Silverado 1500. If you don't like Chevy, go with the '04 to '08 F-150. It'll be a similar price point. Actually, a little bit cheaper, usually. You guys still selling custom offsets hoodies? Yep, we got a whole new gear collection. And we have some stuff for a giveaway, too. If you want to win wheels, tires, and suspension, if you go to the homepage, scroll down, you'll see the big enter here box. You can click on that. We've got a new hoodie, new t-shirt, new windbreaker, as well as all the other stuff. Could you sell a whiteout taillight package? That's like not our thing. Wheels, tires, suspension is our thing. So that's where we're at. We'll leave the headlight and taillight stuff up to the headlight and taillight guys. Why is there no 16 by 10 wheels nowadays? Well, I think it's because everybody's trying to go with big flashy stuff, and for the most part, 16s don't fit on a lot of new vehicles. Even like the brand new Land Rover Defender comes from factory with 18s because a lot of these guys are fitting, and might want to say guys, a lot of the OE manufacturers are fitting larger calipers and larger rotors on these trucks, so you can't run 16s anymore because they just won't clear the brakes. You're welcome, Joey. Can I fit 40-inch tires on a stock F250? No, you cannot. We have an 8-inch lift on our F350, and that's how we're able to fit 40-inch tires. At stock size, I know people run 33s. Some people put 35s on stock wheels, and you can make that fit. You really are going to want a leveling kit, though, and even then you still need to do a lot of trimming. What happens if the suspension company we're using for the giveaway doesn't make suspension for my truck and I win? We'll always take care of you. We'll figure something out. Wouldn't be an ideal situation, obviously, but if they don't, they don't. The Superlift makes stuff for pretty much everyone, though. Like old stuff, new stuff, everything in between. Jeeps. What would you use for an overland build? I'm kind of stuck on the Land Rover Defender right now just because I watched this super awesome video about it like 20 minutes ago. Otherwise, my pick before that would have been like a GX 470, 570, Land Cruiser 200 series if, budget is not an option or not a concern, I mean. But the brand new Defender is sweet, and it starts at $50,000, which in new car terms, isn't the worst. Still too much money, but isn't the worst. Are the red Archon wheels on back order? Depending on what size you're looking at, all the information as far as what's in stock will be listed right on the website. We also added a brand new feature where if you go and you shop for wheels, you can sort them by quick delivery. So what that means is those items are physically in stock in our buildings, and we can ship them right to you. We don't have to wait for anything else to come in, sort of deal. FTS or BDS suspension? I'm gonna be honest with you here. I actually prefer BDS. I've driven a couple different trucks. FTS makes great lift kits too, especially if you want something big. That's where FTS kind of takes the cake because they can give you, the really really huge lift kits. BDS though makes really good quality lift kits on the lower side though, so you're not gonna get a 14-inch BDS lift kit, but they do make really good quality stuff. Are there changes of availability for bolt pattern? Because I have to buy 6x135 wheels and a 5x135 adapter. The best way to shop for wheels to see if they're available in your bolt pattern is to search by your year, make, and model right on our website, because then it'll only show you wheels that fit that bolt pattern. Yes, I did see what Whistling Diesel did to his F350. That was insane. Filled the bed with like 13,000 pounds of concrete or something. That was pretty insane. Best level for a 2010 Ram 1500. Check out ProRide. They make some pretty good kits out there. Otherwise, all the other guys too. BDS makes leveling kits for those trucks as well. Yes, Nicholas, I see the Shelby Raptor is your dream truck. Are rough country lifts any good? Yep, I covered that one just a little bit ago, so I won't go into depth. But I think the value that you get out of them is pretty insane, especially for the price. honest opinion on slam trucks, I have no faults with slam trucks. I've seen guys take lifted trucks and make them look really awesome. I've seen slam trucks that look really awesome. There's always a bunch of stuff at SEMA that's kind of all over the board. And really, when it comes to customization, I just like custom vehicles. Period. Cars, trucks, motorcycles. That's why I turned my hobby into this job. Power Stroke, Duramax, or Cummins, any generation. I touched on this a little bit on Monday, and I picked the Power Stroke 6.7 just because we have two of them at the shop, and I like both of those trucks. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty of knowing all the different specs and whatnot, I don't know that off the top of my head. I guess I do like that the new Rams are a little bit more affordable compared to some of the other trucks, and you get a lot of power out of those things. The new ones have over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, so that's pretty insane. I guess if I was buying a brand new truck, it would be kind of stuck between the 6.7 and the new Cummins with the max torque package. They have a name for it. I forget what it is, though. Why Red Bull? This is the only drink that I had in my fridge. I bought this a long time ago, and I forgot that it was in there, so I'm drinking it. I had coffee already this morning, now a Red Bull. Probably just drink water for the rest of the day. Tell Dustin I love the podcast. Will do. I will tell him that. I'm glad you said so. Opinion on 4Runners. 4Runners are sweet. I like SUVs too. Some people don't like SUVs as much. A 4Runner TRD, that's a sweet off-road vehicle too. Best 6-inch lift for a 2020 Silverado. Let's first see what's available out there. So I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to click on suspension. 2020 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. 4-wheel drive. Would you drive a diesel Ford Raptor? I feel like Ford Raptors need to be powerful and fast. And although diesels can be very powerful, they're not necessarily always fast. And we want to narrow this down to 6 inches. Remember, we're looking for a 2010 Silverado 1500. So BDS is out there. Oh, Superlift's got a kit. Nice. Zone, Rough Country, and Ready Lift. Well, BDS offers a 6-inch coilover with the orange Fox Race coilovers. So if we're saying best, like all around, I guess that would probably be what I would pick, because you're getting a good quality and you're getting coilovers from Fox, which is another big name brand. So that's pretty sweet. Otherwise, value wise, the Superlift kit is actually on sale right now for $1,500, rather than like $1,800. So that's pretty cool. I'd probably go with that. That's a good option too. And you can upgrade the shocks on that as well. Otherwise, Rough Country Vertex kit, so that's their coilover kit. They've got like that kind of in between ground. So we got Superlift coming in at $1,500, BDS at $3,900 for the full Fox Racing coilover setup, and then Rough Country for about $2,300 has a coilover setup as well. So those are kind of the three options I would go with. Good, better, best in that order. Best snowmobile brand. I like Arctic Cat. That's just me, though. But they're in a lot of hot water with everything that's going on with their finances right now. Are Archon wheels coming soon? I'm about to purchase some wheels, but I want to see if you guys are coming out with a new wheel. Archon just released their new stuff, the Triumph, I believe, and the Caesar being the newest two. So they just released those styles, so they won't have any more for a bit yet. At least not in the immediate future. So you got that. Wow, some of these questions, man, people are just negative today. 2020 Ford Bronco. I think they're sweet from the designs that I've seen, but I know that there's some kind of confusion as to the Sport and the regular one, and I don't know what's gonna be actually coming out or not. I did a whole video on that as well. What's the hype with the Ford Bronco? Check that out for the full specs. How does BDS get away with not dropping the torsion bars on their 4.5-inch lift? So the non-torsion drop kit doesn't just ignore everything and just leaves them where they are. They have new brackets to relocate that. So you're just not taking the torsion bars and lowering them. They've got different brackets to keep them in the same spot while still lowering everything else, which in turn lifts your truck. That's how they do it. Best 4-inch lift for a Toyota Tundra. Check out Icon suspension. I think it might max out at 3 inches, but that's going to be the best. The best. What mileage should I look for when buying a used Silverado? Depends on what year you're looking at. Like, for example, my truck has 180,000 miles on it, and I don't have any issues with that. It really comes down to like the history of the vehicle and knowing, was it serviced on time, who owned it, how they drive it, all that kind of stuff. Miles themselves don't necessarily, for me, play a huge impact because I drive so much. I drive like 35,000 to 40,000 miles per year, so I know I'm going to put on a lot of miles. So buying a higher mileage vehicle isn't necessarily a bad thing. You just want to make sure that the rest of the truck is going to hold up too. Best lift for a Chevy Colorado. A lot of people are asking best. If you give me a little more context as to what you plan on doing with the vehicle, I can probably help out a little bit more. Let's see what's out there for the new Chevy Colorados. Best bang for your buck, 2010 Ram leveling kit. That's a pro ride, hands down. Check those guys out. They make adjustable kits. You can change it up. They're very affordable. That's what I would go with. Gas or diesel for my first truck. I plan on towing. Go with the diesel if you can afford it. I would say it's just going to set you up better for the future when you start towing bigger and heavier stuff. GMC Sierra or Chevy Silverado. I own a Sierra, so I'm going to pick a Sierra. If I had 10 grand, what mods would I do for my truck? Well, wheels, tires, suspension, obviously, because we need something to change up the look of it. I would probably stick a good majority of that into suspension. Probably like the BDS coilover kits with the Fox coilovers. Those are usually anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000. So that takes out a big chunk of it. And then wheels and tires. Wheels you can change up all the time because I feel like every year you're gonna want a new style. So I won't focus too specific on that. But then for tires, I probably go with Nittos or Toyos. Those seem to like last the longest, and they're made in America, so that's cool. How many vehicles do I own? I have 3 cars and trucks right now, but they're always broken, so you know. Why Apple? I don't know. I think it's just because of the fancy packaging. How did you know that I have Apple everything? That's the real question. TRD Tundra with a leveling kit. What size tire would you recommend for an 18x9 wheel? All right, let's go into the gallery and let's answer this. So 17 Tundra. I gotta try not to lose your question here. 2017 Toyota. I get really fast at the website. I use it a lot. Tundra. Okay, suspension. We've got a leveling kit, and you've got 9-inch wide wheels. We're gonna leave the size of the wheel, the diameter, blank, because whether it's an 18, a 20, or 17. That's gonna not impact our fitment, so we can leave that out of there and just look at what we got for different tire sizes. So first one I see is a 33. Got another 33, another 33, another 33. 33 12.5 seems to be the most common size to fit on there. If you want to go metric size, I will add in the diameter for that because that can change it up a little bit. Let's just check out. Yeah, you're welcome, Logan. After you build your 2010 Ram, though, I want to see it. You better place that order today. We're going to ship it out. And then, by next week, I'm going to be looking for some photos. How's that sound? Can we make a deal? So 18s, 295/65. We got one guy kind of on the more conservative side. I also see trucks in here running 325/65. That's very meaty, lots of trimming involved. 295/70. To 85/65 to 95/70. So I think 295/70 is kind of like that middle ground where you fill out the wheel really nice, have good sidewall, and don't run into too much trimming. Still gonna be some, but not too much. That's what I would go with if I were you. Try to see if you can squeeze a 295/75 in there, or 70, if you're comfortable with all the trimming. Otherwise, I'd step down to, let's see, 275/70. Looks like you can fit that in there with slight rubber full turn and minor plastic trimming. Got to pull the mud flaps off too if you haven't already done that. Biggest wheel and tire size for Colorado with a leveling kit. This will depend, again, like I was kind of saying before, on how much trimming you're willing to do. But I will punch it in here. Chevy, Colorado, leveling kit. We'll click that. And we're going to leave everything else blank because we just want to see how big we can go. What's your opinion on paint in bed liner? I guess I don't have a preference really of painted or drop in. I think the sprayable bed liners look a little bit better because the plastic ones eventually get beat up and torn and like don't sit in there right. So if I had to pick one, I'd go with the spray-in. Okay, back to the Colorado. So we want to know biggest we can go. So I guess widest and tallest all set up at the same time. So we're going to start adding in some filters and seeing how wide people have gone. So we're going to start with 14 wide. Nobody has done 14 wides. Let's go to 12 wide. There we go. 22 by 12 with 265/40 tires. So it's like a stretch street tire look. Otherwise, yeah, pretty much everybody's kind of running the street tire look in order to fit 12 wides. But it's doable if you want to do it. It actually looks kind of sweet. Looks fast and sporty. I'm going to attempt to turn this around so you can see what I'm looking at here. That's what I'm looking at. So there's that. Tire letters or no tire letters? If you got a street truck and you got, Nitto 420s or something like that, slap some tire letters on there. Those things are sweet. Definitely do that. Why doesn't Sean do YouTube videos anymore? Because, as the CEO, he's got a lot of, important things to do. All the boring and non-fun stuff. That's why I get to do the fun stuff. Because I don't want to do the boring stuff. I do not know the length of the factory studs on a 2020 F250, but I could probably Google it. Tahoe, Yukon, or Escalade? I go with an Escalade. They're sweet trucks, if you want to call them a truck. Can I work at CO in a couple of years? Probably. I mean, we're always hiring talented people. If you are passionate about the truck industry and you want to come work for us, there's a good chance that we'd have a spot for you. 14 Raptor or 2500 Denali, high country diesel. Oof. I guess if it's a daily driver, oh wow, that's a tough question. If it's the only vehicle I only have one, I'd go with the Denali / high country, as you put it, because you get a nice quality interior, you can tow stuff with it, and the new ones are very roomy as far as interior wise goes. So you get a crew cab, you fit everybody in there. My favorite Seaboy, banging. It's gotta be banging. What's better, Pro Comp or Superlift for a 6-inch in the F-150? I would go with the Superlift, my personal preference there. More sidewall or more wheel? For me, it's more sidewall. For a lot of people, it's more wheel. That's all personal preference, too. What do I think about the electric Hummer? I don't know enough about it yet. I've only seen the really small teaser stuff. But there's a company called Rivian making some super sweet electric trucks. So that'll be cool. And I'm excited to see the electric F-150 because it actually uses the Rivian platform. What happened to Junior's Bronco? Nothing. It's sitting outside his house. Just rotting away. Oh, this? Yes. This is my mouse. Sorry. If you're wondering what that was on the bottom of the screen. There we go. That's a great question, Christopher. Looks like we got enough detail here. Let me read it out. Best lift kit for 2018 Silverado 2500 HD Duramax. Under $2,500. Going more for looks and not planning on towing for now. Oh shoot. Where'd it go? Yes, and you want 35s. Okay, so let's figure out what size we need for that. We're going to go to the gallery and punch it in. Silverado 2500 HD, and we want to run 35s. Since you said you're going more for looks, I'm going to assume that you're going to want maybe some wider wheels, a little more show style. So I'm just going to put in 12 wides. We're not going like crazy with it, but very common large width. Yes, I did see that they're making electric vans for Amazon. I'm talking about Rivian electric trucks again. All right, so let's look here. 35s and 12 wides. That's good. 35s and 12 wides. All right. Let's take a peek, see what this guy's running. 6.5-inch BDS. All right. Let's just look at one more to see and make sure that everybody's kind of doing the same size here. 7.5-inch rough country with no rubbing and very minor plastic trimming. So if you're willing to do a little bit of trimming, I think a 6.5 kit is going to look the best. So now we can pop over to the store. Any plans on expanding the polished wheels? Maybe some smaller wheels for the increased number of manufacturers' smaller trucks. Honestly, the whole polished wheel, forged wheel thing is kind of slowing down quite a bit. So I don't think that will become expanded anytime soon. But if there's enough market demand for it, it could definitely happen. Most people want to go with a painted surface, or a brushed surface is really in right now. So I'm going back to that Silverado 2500, answering the lift kit question, what lift you should get to fit 35s. The best one that I recommend. So we're going to pull that up. Opinion on Whistling Diesel. The guy's crazy. He makes some awesome videos. I'll give you that. I don't have a problem with him. I think his stuff's kind of funny. And we want to stick around the $2,500 range. All right, let's take a look. Well, we're kind of like right in the middle of a whole bunch of different stuff here. So you can go with a BDS standard lift kit for like $2,300, the 6.5-inch that they offer, or you can, if you want to save all the money and put it towards something else, you can go with the Super Lift 6-inch kit, and that comes with the regular Super Lift shocks, but you can upgrade those. So that way you kind of save a little bit of money on the lift kit, and then you have more options as far as personalizing it with your shock choice. Leaves you a little more money in the wheel and tire budget. So Super Lift, if you want to save a little bit of money. Otherwise, ProComp's got one also. That would be a good option for you too. But I think I would go with either the Super Lift, it's also on sale, and or the BDS suspension too. But if you go with the BDS, you're going to be kind of like maxing out your budget there. You get really good quality, you get a really awesome warranty, but you won't have any money left over for extras. So you got that. But yeah, they got a Super Lift kit with Bilstein shocks. And like the Bilstein shocks are super, super awesome. I love those guys. Are you single or do you got a wifey? I have a girlfriend and she lives here in this house with me. But she's not my wife. I think she'd probably prefer if she was, but not yet. Don't tell her I said that. Can I chug the Red Bull? I'm not going to do that. I'm not comfortable doing that on live. That just sounds like too much can go wrong. Gas or diesel K2500 for towing a Miata. Honestly, the gas one will be fine. Can you buy the front half of a BDS coilover kit for 2500 HD? If you mean like just the coilovers, you can do that. You're going to want to email us, info@customallsys.com. We'll get that over to Brad or one of the other suspension guys, and then he'll be able to make you kind of like a custom link, and we can do that for you. It's not something we typically do, but we'll do it. Do you think 14 wides would fit on a Chevy 1500 with a 6-inch lift? Do they fit? Yes. Can you turn? Not really. Also depends on your tire size, but you can definitely pull it off. Jeremy, though, he's got a 7.5-inch rough country kit and 14 wides, and his truck still rubs a lot. So I would probably go taller if you can. Otherwise, you're going to have to stick to the 12 wides. Can you do a video on reverse leveling? We might be able to do that. It's really, really simple. In most cases, you just pull the blocks out of the rear of your truck, and then you're going to be reverse leveled. So, Are the big trucks jacked up and the windows blacked out? Yes. Yes, they are. I'm glad that you remember our song, Flexed from Hands On. If you haven't seen that, yeah, it's a good jam. We've got Cosmosis has their own song, if you didn't know. Imagine the end of the world. What truck would you choose? Ford Raptor. This was actually in a this or that before. Because a lot of it came down to fuel selection. I didn't want to go with the diesel truck. I wanted a gas truck because there's more gas vehicles on the road that, if I need to siphon some gas out of, we can do that. And we can also go very fast over lots of terrain. That's the plan. Went to the barber and showed them a picture of you and told them to do that. Is that weird? No. This is 2020. Nothing can surprise me anymore. We've done a lot of crazy things, and a lot of people have done way crazier than showing their barber a photo of my haircut. Which, by the way, my hair is going to get really long because all the barber shops in Wisconsin are closed for 30 days. So it's just going to keep going from here. Zone upper control arm or rough country upper control arm for a 3-inch leveled 1500. Zone makes some really sweet boxed upper control arms. If they have those for that specific truck, I like those ones. Otherwise, the rough country makes forged ones too. So they're both, kind of similar quality. Comes down to what you want to pay, I guess. My personal opinion on the 5.4 Triton. My mom had one in her Expedition. And we didn't have very many problems with it. We had the typical spark plug issues, but not to the point where they were blowing out of it like some people have had. So I guess look into that. I think for the most part it's a fine engine. My favorite are Cons. I still think the original Crown series is probably my favorite, or the new Caesar because it looks like a forged wheel. What's up, Marcus? Sorry, I had a hiccup there in the middle of it. I got Red Bull burps going on. Stance preference, low and wide. Which may be weird, but I like it when they're super, super wide and not quite as tall. Or just in general. Like if you got a 6-inch and you put 14s on it, which is, crazy. Final Garage is 10-ply or 8-ply. Depends on which size you get. But that'll all be kind of explained on the website too. So if you're looking at tires on our website, if you scroll down just a little bit, it'll give you all the specs like the weight, the ply rating, the load index, the load range, the speed rating, all that stuff. Shout out to Cosmosis for the help and Fuller for the help in this truck build. No problem, man. Always out there trying to help people out. 6-liter Chevy or 5.7? I have a 6-liter, so I'm going to go with 6-liter. What size lift to fit 35 by 12.5 for 18 Ram 2500? I think you can pull that off on a leveling kit. I'm pretty sure. Check out the gallery on our website, customoffices.com/gallery. You'll be able to confirm that. But I think you could pull it off with a leveling kit. Best 22 by 14 deep lip wheel. Can I shout out Jessica? I can say shout out Jessica. That's easy. All right, 22 by 14. Oh man, it's raining now. Let's go into the store and let's look at 22 by 14s. So we're going to search by size and brand. 22 by 14. Give me one moment here. Whoa, somebody keeps pressing the A button. Your A button is stuck, sir. You're filling my screen with A's. We're going to leave bolt pattern blank, wheel brand blank. Click shop and check out all the deep dish wheels. So the first one that comes up, sorted by popular, is the TAS 544, which is super, super popular. Tons of people have those. So if you don't want those... Oh, I gotta clear the vehicle out of here. We're only looking at one specific vehicle. Let me get rid of that. That should pop up then. Okay. I love when I break the website. Let's try this again. We wanted 22s. We wanted them to be 14 inches wide, which is not a super common size. There's 531 options, which is still a lot of options. Ooh, the Hostile Rage. That's going to have a massive lip on it just because there's There's a little bit of concavity, and then the spokes dive back, so the lip looks really huge on there. There is a ridge, though. So I'm going to keep scrolling through Specialty Forge, obviously. Oh, here you go. If you're looking for the most insane lip, 22 by 14, drop stars, 652 BM. They're also on sale. They're $1,400 for the set of 4, and they're in stock at the warehouse. So we can ship them right to you, literally right now. They have a massive lip. It's absolutely huge, like just insane. I'll pull it up and turn my camera around, and hopefully you guys can see what I'm looking at. But I don't know if it's gonna work or not. That's what we're looking at. So the way that the spokes are set up, they dive back, and this lip is massive. Like even the lip on a 10 wide is pretty huge. So I can only imagine that the 14 wide is going to be absolutely insane. 17 by 9 or 18 by 9 on 33s. Mine are 17 by 9s, and I have 33s. So I'm going to pick that because I have it. Are spacers safe? Yes. If you get a quality spacer. That's the caveat there. We did a whole video on that too. If you want to learn about all the different myths about spacers. We only sell Bora spacers for a reason. That's who we trust. We've put them on a lot of our personal vehicles. So I would check that out. Check out Bora spacers on the website too if you want some more information on them. Fox versus King coilovers. I think King just dominates the off-road market with their coilovers. I did a video about them as well. It's called What's the Hype with King Coilovers. If you want to learn some more information and fun facts about them, that's who I would pick. Best tires and rims for a 99 Ranger. Ooh, 2.3 liter. So you don't want anything too heavy. I'd go with a smaller wheel and tire combo. I had 15s on my Ranger. Colorado Bison or Tacoma TRD Pro? I would go with the TRD. I'm kind of a Toyota fan. Do you think lifts under 5 inches are worth it? Absolutely. So it really depends on what you're going to do with your vehicle. I'm not really sure what classifies it as being worth it. Like some people might not want a 5-inch lift because your truck in the end doesn't look absolutely significantly taller. But 5 or 6 inch lift definitely still makes a noticeable change. There's actually a lot of lift kits that I like out there that are only 3 inches, and it all has to do with what you want to do with your truck and the performance that you want out of it. So is it worth it? Yes. Would 35s look small on a 9-inch lift? I would say so. Quite small. Honestly, you might want to go with something a little bit bigger. We've got an 8-inch lift and 40s, and that looks pretty good. What offset for 17 by 9 and 35s with a level Dodge Ram 2500 for no rubbing? You're going to want a 0 offset on there. Peter, you keep messaging the same thing over and over again. What's the liter mean in an engine? What's better, high or low? Well, the liter is basically the size of the displacement. So if you can imagine a 2-liter soda bottle, that would be the same amount of displacement. So a 6-liter is a significantly larger engine than a 2-liter. So that's that in the short and simple way. Typically, more liters or a larger engine is going to be more power. Not always the case when you add in different turbochargers and superchargers and stuff like that. But like a V8, it's common to see 5.3 liter, 5.7 liter, 6.0 liter, 6.2 liter. 4 cylinders are like 1.5 liters and 2 liters. Hopefully that helps you. What do you rate the Seaboys truck? Which one, the Duramax or the Raptor? A good question. I think the Duramax, we actually did do a video where I rated it. I think that with the wrap and everything that's done to it now, I'd probably give that like an 8. And the Raptor I really like. It's probably 8.5 on the Raptor. Trail Boss setup. Will a 4-inch BDS bring it up to 6 inches with the factory 2-inch lift? It's a great question, and it's a big misconception because it won't. So the Trail Boss is already lifted 2 inches. When you add a 4-inch lift, you're removing the 2-inch and just getting 4. So keep that in mind. If you add a 6-inch, you're going to have a 6-inch lift, but it's only going to look 4 inches taller because your truck was lifted 2 inches. Because in the back, they have like a taller block, and you're going to take that out and you're going to put in a different block. The struts are a little bit different too, so it's going to be a little bit taller, but it's not that crazy of a difference. Best ride in hauling, 4-inch lift for 17 Silverado. It's going to be BDS on there for you. Check those guys out. Radar tires I have not had experience with. What Stance has 35-inch boggers on his 2.3-liter Ranger. Is it okay? Anything is okay if it's your personal opinion and that's what you want to do with it. You are more than welcome to do that. We're not here to stop anybody from doing it, but if you're also going to be driving it all the time, it would be our recommendation that 35s might be a little bit too large for a 4-cylinder Ranger. It's just going to be a little bit slow. And then I don't know if you'll actually be able to get through anything that you'd require boggers for, but oh gosh, I should really use my other hand and not try to block the entire camera. Sorry about that, guys. I leveled my truck and it rides stiff. Should I upgrade my upper control arms to help? That will definitely help it out, yeah. So if your leveling kit didn't come with upper control arms, I'd check that out. Basically, when you add any sort of twisting and binding, or if anything's maxed out, that's when you start to get some rough riding issues. What tire pressure do you recommend for mud tire on road? If you have a 1500 truck, you're going to want to use, typically around 35 pounds. In the door of your vehicle, when you open it up, it'll show you what pressures are recommended, and that pressure is the same whether it be stock or aftermarket. So I would use the recommended pressure in your door and adjust accordingly, up or down to your personal preference. If you have a heavy-duty truck, a lot of those vehicles require like anywhere from 60 to 80 pounds of pressure. If you run around with 80 pounds of pressure all the time, though, your truck's going to ride really stiff. So you might have to lower it down a little bit to the 55-60 range. You might have a tire light that comes on, but a little more comfortable. Just make sure that when you do tow, you put it back up to that 80 pounds of that max pressure, because any tire rating that you see on a tire is specifically for the max tow rating on a tire, or max weight. Any good Mexico wheel brands? I don't know of any wheels that are made in Mexico, actually. Rating the Stratman's Gladiator. If you guys want to see us rate YouTubers' trucks, we actually have a couple of videos titled Rating YouTubers' Trucks, so you can check that out. Aluminum or steel spacers? Aluminum spacers with steel studs. That's the way to go. Bora makes those. We've got those listed on the website, too, so you can come check those out. Do we sell billet specialties? Well, with Specialty Forge and all the news that's going on there, we haven't sold specialties because we don't want to sell you something that you might not get. So if you still want billet wheels or polished, fully forged, one-piece aluminum wheels, I would check out American Force. Ready Lift 2-inch lifts for the new Trail Boss, good to go. Let me take a peek. I know they were working on it. We'll punch it in there. 2019 Ready Lift. Give me 1 second so I can get all this pulled up for you guys. I don't want to tell you anything that's wrong. And let's see. Leveling. Yes, what do we have? Yep, the Ready Lift kit is ready to go. So 1.75, 1 3/4 inch leveling kit for the GMC AT4 and the Chevy Trail Boss. $500, all set to go. So there you have it. And that's the AT4 and Trail Boss only. Chevrolet big brake swap on my GMC 1500. That'd be kind of cool. I think when you add large wheels and tires, that's probably the first thing that gets skipped over is people adding larger brakes. If you're driving your truck at 100 miles an hour, you might want some bigger brakes. Best bed liner to use. Scorpion liner, Rhino liner, they're all pretty good. Are y'all still delivering wheels and tires? Yes, we are. The warehouse is still up and running. Social media is still up and running. We're doing everything we can to get everybody's orders out there. So yeah, we're not closed by any means. We might be closed to the public. The state's not letting us let anybody in, but as far as shipping goes, still shipping out everything. Lift kits, wheels, tires, the whole shebang. Alright. Well, it's been about an hour. I'm going to hop off of here because otherwise YouTube gets angry when I go on for an hour. It'll probably shut me down anyway. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. The 150 of you that are still here, thank you very much. Shout out to Alex. Parker asked me for a shout out to Alex. Cool name, by the way. My name is Parker, too, in case you didn't know. Fuller's just my last name. Glad to hang out with you guys. We'll do this again Friday, I think. Probably around the same time, 3 p.m. Worked out pretty good. So, yep, we'll be in the videos. We'll keep posting. All that's coming up shortly. So, yeah, stay tuned, guys. Stay safe out there. Hope you guys are having fun with everything that's going on. Hopefully you're not stuck at home like I am. But let's call it a day for now. All right, guys. See you Friday.